Good morning, guys. This is Stephen Howard. My dog Yucca and Rio are in their beds. It's snowing pretty good this morning. We've had a thaw in Montana. Lori's in the off-grid cabin doing some reading. And we've had about 2 or 3 feet of snow up here at a time until my banks were up to 4 feet. So this pole is a good example. They were about halfway up that pole, the banks that I shoveled out of the driveway. And the driveway is pretty gnarly. Come down here. There's a lot of junk that Grant and friends have collected over the years. This vehicle is Grant's truck. It's a beast. The van, the Suburban, needs to be fixed back there. It has a transmission issue, so I'll try and get it fixed. There's a bunch of tires back there for various vehicles, including Grant's Jeep. And there's a cottage out here that needs to be redone. Unfortunately, the property line is right about where this skull is. So if you drew a line straight up the hill, that's the property line. If you drew a line down this way, the cottage that was built is on the other person's property. So that's going to have to be moved. A few other things are going to have to be moved and demolished. And then there's a burn pile underneath the snow here. I'm getting sidetracked. This is my driveway, and it's about 2.5 football fields down there. You can see the tracks way down there. And the top here gets pretty gnarly to get up, and the bottom down there gets pretty gnarly to get through. So a little shovel push downhill, and then a big stack at the bottom to kind of shovel onto the bank. I go up in the morning. I do things to maintain the property. There's a solar system here, and every day before I go to bed and before it gets too cold during the day, I'll warm up the hut up here, and I'll warm it up to about 60 or 70 degrees and just kind of keep an ambient temperature for a while. And it allows for things to stay warm and thaw. Electronics, I was reading about, don't need to be less than 30 degrees necessarily. You get into the 20s, things can start getting sketchy where any sort of moisture buildup in an electronic can freeze, and that'll cause some expansion. So I come up here. It's a good little workout. My sciatic nerve is usually firing by now, on fire, because I have a back issue. So I have to do little work in stages, but there's a propane heater in here. I don't know if you can see that, 2 blasters. And what I do is I just hit the button, fire that up. Today it's 32 degrees in here this morning. So I have to be aware. I have to watch the batteries. I got to get some distilled water and get them filled up. And I'm going to go 2 heaters today. That's a second burner. Anyway, there's survival techniques and different things. I'm just doing kind of like the general daily stuff. But there's survival things that you have to do out here in order to keep things correct. Having enough water, having enough food, Having enough supply fuel for the generator when the solar isn't working. There's a generator down here, and then taking care of things, organizing things, taking care of things. And I can't wait for a little bit more thaw, probably early spring. I'll be doing some giant burn piles while there's no fire danger. So I'm going to try and get rid of a couple of things and clean up the property some more. And then I've got more road work on the driveway to do this summer. But this is it, you know. I'm planning on being here long term. And I do have some plans for the property. I'd love to purchase this property. I need about $240,000 for the purchase. But what I really need is about $500,000, because if you connected this and you put an A-frame right where this deck leads out, and the A-frame would be on stilts with the driveway to park underneath it and store all your stuff, and the A-frame would act as the main home, and then I would make the cabin, it's really rustic as is, but I would clean up everything and make it really pristine for people to come and have a rustic cabin experience and be able to kind of camp out here with their family for the weekend and enjoy an off-grid cabin and learn about all of that, and maybe go paddle on a river or go horseback riding or ATVing. There's a lot of stuff to do around here that's really fun, and Missoula has a lot to offer. So here we are, and I was just kind of walking you through my morning. I've been doing a lot of internal work, and I was talking about it this morning with Lori, and what I've come up with is, if you don't have a good curriculum for yourself, if you don't have good ethics, morals, things that are going to keep you on the divine path, then those things come into question at times when you make shitty decisions. So the people that are struggling right now, and the people are having problems right now all the time, a lot of those problems are self-driven. And taking a good look at my channel, I've taken almost 5 years now to look at myself, to look at my problems, to look at the things that make me not the best of a person, and found out a way that I could change those just by reprogramming myself and making it so that the curriculum that I'm feeding myself, the thoughts, the daily practices and thoughts, it's really, really important. Whoa, that's a trip. I just pulled the tarp, and it's the state of Nevada. You guys see that? Wow. Las Vegas is right about there. Lake Tahoe is right about here. The state of Nevada. Boy, I had a lot of lessons in Nevada. Some very painful ones. I also had some great lessons in Nevada, and some milestone experiences. If you look at my channel, did a bunch of rock climbing in Nevada that was amazing. I made it to some of the tops of some of the climbs that I hadn't done in 20 years. So I was feeling really strong coming into here in Montana. And I was working really hard. You'll see all of that. And doing the work. And then I got injured, which I got to go in and sit down now. My lower back was injured at work, and I've been kind of dealing with it since about October. But the divinely guided message that I have for you today is whatever I'm showing you, it's not to put it in anybody's face. It's not to gloat about how great I've done, or it's to show you guys that I was crying in my Suburban, freaking out, having a nervous breakdown, ready to kill myself. And I didn't know what to do other than to turn on the phone and start recording and talking about my problem and figuring out my problem and having some witness to what I was going through. And I've made it this far, and you're going to see even farther. The back injury is holding me back right now, and it's because I'm supposed to mellow out. There are some things that need to be healed, and there's some foundations, some homes, some home that was taken from me a long time ago, and it was not my fault. And the universe somehow has delivered me the perfect storm, the perfect ability. All the things are falling into place in such a magical way. And don't get me wrong, there's still daily problems, monthly problems, hourly problems, and things you got to deal with that aren't exactly fun. But at least my attitude, I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, I'm still here for my friends and family. I'm still here to share with you guys what I went through. So, that's as real as I can get. Channeled messages are pretty fucking interesting because sorry, I probably won't post this for kids, but they just come out. It just comes out. It's like diarrhea of the mouth. And it's not coming from me. It's coming from the divine. It's coming from my ancestors and source. As I'm sitting out here in the snow and Lori's looking at me out the front door, we've had just an amazing, amazing journey. And coming from Nevada and everything that we went through, and then, everything else, and then all of Lori's experiences and all of my experiences, and putting those two together and then into a home. And it's a blessing. It's a curse. We've had to cleanse this home of some sort of entity or spirit and release them. There were many spirits around here that were hanging on and were making weird things happen. We had a glass shroud from a lantern fly across a room and not shatter on the hardwood floor, and the glass shroud was 400 degrees when Lori tried to pick it up, and the bulb wasn't on that hot. We didn't turn up our lanterns very high that day. So I guess what I'm trying to say is life and the things that you really want will take a shitload of effort. You will have to constantly be managing and working on yourself and these things in order to keep it real. So I hope you got the message today. I love you guys. I'm out here collecting snow on my hat. So I'm going to go inside and try and warm up my lower back and figure out what my day, maybe some pancakes or something. You guys have a good day. We'll see ya.